Okay, in this video I'm going to demonstrate a way of making eye loops. This is Dyneema Liros DC 200 line. It's white. Here we go. So I'm taking the line, I've cut it to the length I want. I used a razor blade and I cut it on a very sharp angle because you're looking for a really nice taper here. So I'm going to make sure that my taper is really good by flattening it out a bit and just taking some of those hairs off. I've got a very good taper there. Okay, next thing I did, you want 50 times the line diameter for your tail to go back in to the hollow braid Dyneema at the end. This is 1.6 millimeter Dyneema if I remember right, so I'm going to go 10 centimeters. I'm using an imperial ruler here, so I'm going to go 4 inches. It's about 10 centimeters. Doesn't have to be accurate. And I'm making about a 1-inch eye loop, so I'm marking another spot 2 inches in. Now, I don't have a fid, so I'm going to use guitar string. So I'm opening up the braid a little bit here. And I've got this high guitar string that I'm going to feed through the middle of the braid here. And I'm just going to make sure that I get it generally through the middle of the line. Feed it through a little bit. And I can open it up and stick my line there, and I'm going to pull this cut end through. Now doing this, I won't say it's tricky because it's really not, as you can see, but if you pull on these ropes while you're doing it, it's going to want to close the braid, so I usually try and push the braid over top of the fid. Anyway, I'm going to pull it through so my second mark is past all the way through the braid. I'll take that off. And then I'm going to get the other eye end of my line. This is a factory eye end, but doesn't really matter. And I'm going to open up the braid again here for that part that I just pushed through. And I'm going to push my guitar string fid, if you'd want to call it that, through again. And I'm going to hook this through the guitar string so I can pull it through as well. Now you're pulling twice as much line through, so it might take a little more working. Again, don't pull on the lines, I just slide it through with my fingers, and as you can see, it should slide through that braid very easily. Wasn't any problem at all. So you end up with something like this. Make sure it's nice and straight before you pull it tight. And as you can see, when you pull it snug, it will lock into place. And I'm going to stick a screwdriver through, give it a good tug. Make sure it's nice and strong. Okay, now I want to bury the tail. Again, I'm going to use my guitar string fid. I'm going to go down a little bit past where the tail, a little bit past the length of where the tail would go, because the line's going to shrink a little bit because it's going to be a bit wider. And then I'm going to gently feed up the braid. Pops out the sides, no big deal, just pull it out. It's not going to hurt anything. And just keep working it up. Working it up. Oh, it's a tough one today. Wish there was an easy way to do this. Working it up. Just takes a little patience. And I want to pop it out right underneath where my tail would go in, so I can bury the tail. Hook it through. And start feeding it through until it's out. And voila. You're done. Just like that. One eye loop.